Hey guys, what's going on? Caesar the Physio here. We've been talking a lot about squats. Last week we had Justin Santos here. He told us what to look for in a good squat. And this week we're gonna take a look at self-assessment. What does your squat look like? And what can you do if it doesn't look like the good squat that we're looking for? Two tools that we're gonna use. And for both of these tools, we need a mirror. So what I want you guys to do is stand in front of the mirror in your stance that Justin talked about last week. So about shoulder width apart. Toes pointing forward. I want you to notice, where do your knees go as you come down in your squat? So you're gonna hinge at your hips, bring your butt back, start to come down, and notice where your knees are tracking, right? Do they track right above your feet? Do they really come out? Or do they collapse in? The fault that we're gonna talk about today is the collapsing in fault. Assessment tool number 2 is gonna be on a single leg. So let's say with 2 legs, your knees look great. I want you guys to challenge yourselves. Stand on one foot, toes pointing forward, find your balance, make sure your hips are level, start to come down. Where is your knee tracking? Is it tracking right above your foot, or is it shooting in? Do your hips stay level, or does one side drop? Does one side shoot out? There are 2 really big reasons why I see this happen in the clinic. Number 1 is always motor control, or the ability to recruit the right muscle groups. And it's very different than strength. That's because when you look at a skill, like shooting a free throw, for example, the only thing that's going to get me better at shooting a free throw is practicing free throws. It's not going to help me if I strengthen my wrist, if I strengthen my arm or my shoulder. If I can pick up a basketball and I can shoot that free throw, all I need to do is practice. So what we're going to do is go through some motor control exercises to help you guys practice good hip stability and good knee alignment. What you need for this one is a stability ball. This is going to be an assisted single leg squat or pistol, whatever you want to call it. You're going to place the ball right at your knee. You're going to stand very narrow, about hip width apart. Toes are pointing forward. You're going to tighten your core, squeeze your bum, and spread the floor with your feet. You're going to pick up the foot of the leg touching the ball. And your goal is to keep your pelvis neutral and to keep your knee in line with your ankle. So what you don't want to see is you don't want to see your hip drop, and you don't want to see your knee shoot in. If you find this extremely easy, you're going to actually start to come down into a single leg squat. And just like your regular squat, you're going to hinge at the hip, unlock your knee, and start to come down, and focusing on the same things we talked about. Knee in line, hip level. You don't want your knee to shoot in, you don't want your hip to be unlevel or your hip to shoot out. If you don't have a ball, you can substitute for a blanket or a pillow. It's a little bit easier with those tools, but you're still going to get a benefit if this is challenging for you. That exercise was for your motor control, so recruiting the right muscle groups, practicing your free throws. This next exercise is going to be for your ankle mobility. If you want your ankles to move better, there's a number of different ways to do that, but my favorite is using a wall. So I get as much of my foot on the wall as I can, unlock my knee, and then bring it towards my second, third, or fourth toe. You're either going to feel a pull through the back of the lower leg, or pressure through the front, or both. If you find that your ankles are so stiff you can't quite get your foot on the wall, what you're going to do is get yourself a book or a little yoga block, place your foot on it, and then perform the same exercise. All right, so today we learned about the genu valgus fault, or the caving knees fault. We learned about why that happens, motor control and ankle mobility, and we went through some exercises to help us with that. The first being the assisted pistol, or assisted single leg squat. Variation 1, static, was 10 seconds, 10 times per leg. Variation 2 of that was 2 sets of 10 per leg, holding for 2 seconds at the bottom. And for the ankle mobility, we did a stretch, total of 2 minutes, or minimum 30-second intervals. Same for both variations. Variation 1 was just straight on the wall. But if you find that's a little bit difficult, then you're going to get yourself a little block or something to just elevate your foot just a little bit. Next week, say you assess your squat from the side, and you notice that you stop here and your chest kind of falls forward. What's going on, and what can you do about that?
All right, thanks, Caesar.
Thank you, man.